Hey guys, Derek here with another video. So this video is actually going to be probably a pretty special video, and it's going to kick off a series of videos that I'm going to do. And this is actually the whole reason that I got on YouTube to begin with. But I refused to do these videos because, one, I was still chasing down some of them, and then two, once I finally completed the whole collection of games, I was still kind of upset, I guess, with the condition of some of the games that I'm going to eventually end up showing. But like I think on Thursday I ended up getting the last game that I needed, and then in the condition that I wanted it to be. So yeah, like that was a huge day, and then like all week long I've just been thinking about making this video. Like I'm a total fanboy for Working Designs, and any chance I get to promote Working Designs and the games that they made, and even Gaijin Works now, I'm going to do that. So I'm going to do that in this video. About 5 years ago, a guy named Splatter Trigger here on YouTube made a series of videos talking about like collecting tips for Working Designs, and then just letting you know like all the things that you should be looking for if you're collecting for Working Designs, and all the things that came with the games at retail and stuff to let you know basically like how to complete the games, and then like the best places to look and prices to expect. And then a few years ago, another guy named Games of War basically did the same thing. So like I thought it was interesting to see like the change in prices and changing conditions, I guess like change in the collecting market over the course of every couple of years. So maybe I'll make this like an update video so you can see where things are at now. And then like yeah, like I said, I'm gonna try to help promote Gaijin Works a little bit, because it's the spiritual successor to Working Designs now, and like they are actually actively making new games and trying to build up their base to get back to the level that Working Designs was at. So yeah, I think it would help just to have people more aware, and like if you're interested in Working Designs and RPGs and stuff in general, yeah, so that'll help. Alright, so on with the actual video itself, let's rewind the clock back to 1995, 1996 or so. Me as a little kid, like I think I've said this before in videos, I've always been obsessed with video games. My dad was into video games when we were very little, so like me and my brothers and my sister, when she would come to visit us, would play video games and stuff, and like all of us just ended up getting into it. I think I got into it a little bit more than everybody else, but like all of us grew up playing video games and stuff. So like Christmas morning, 1995, 1996, I ended up getting a Game Boy with The Legend of Zelda. So yeah, I ran away real quick because I ended up getting this Game Boy with Legend of Zelda: Link's Awakening, and so yeah, like at that point, like you basically saw me carrying around either a Game Boy or a game manual almost at all times. So like I would carry around game manuals and stuff and just like read through it, like learn about the game worlds, learn about the characters, and it'd also have like tips and strategies and stuff in it, and then like learn about the items and stuff. And then like I just loved looking at all the artwork. So with all that said, I guess in 1999 or so, we had to go, like me and my family made a cross-country trip from the west coast to the east coast to my grandparents' house, and my oldest brother happened to live there still, so like he ended up taking me and my middle brother out to Best Buy one day, and like I was 14 or 15 at that point, and I just had a birthday, I think. It was right around my birthday, so I had some money that I wanted to spend on a game, and Resident Evil 3 Nemesis had just come out, so that was basically the game I wanted to buy. So he took us to Best Buy, and I like had all kinds of plans to give him the money, have him buy the game, and then I was gonna play it. And then I saw a game there. It was a giant, fat, big box game, and it ended up being this game, Lunar Silver Star Story Complete. And this is my original copy of the game. And as you can see, like the condition of it's a little bit beat up, so I have replaced it over the years, but like I still keep this one around because I refuse to give it up. But anyways, like I picked this game up, and one, just the size of this game in general kind of made me like double take. But then it had like this little flap lid that you can open, and then when I opened it and I started like looking at all this stuff, like look at the artwork on this, look at the gold foil embossing and stuff. Oh yeah, I didn't know if I said it, but like the cover is embossed too, and it's just like look at all of the attention and like time and stuff that went into this packaging. And yeah, I don't know. So like I was torn. I was like, should I get Lunar or should I get Resident Evil? And then I ended up settling on Lunar, obviously. And then yeah, I was kind of hooked. So like it was a 2 or 3 day road trip back to our house on the West Coast. And yeah, it's a lot of time sitting in the car. So like I'd play my Game Boy, and then when my Game Boy would die, I would pull out Lunar and just kind of stare at the box. And then obviously just looking at the art and stuff. But then there's another thing that Lunar had that I'd never really seen in a game at that point. And this, like, the collector's edition of Lunar, came with this like hardbound book. And like this isn't just a book, this is the game's manual. Like what used to be just like little, I don't know, like 15-page booklets of paper was this hardbound book now. So I was just, I don't know, like everything about this game was just like killing me. So like the whole 2 or 3 day car trip back, like I sat just like looking through this book over and over and over, just being amazed by like the characters, the artwork and stuff. And this is before I even like played 1 second of the game. Like I knew everything that was going on in this thing that the game would like, or that the manual would allow me to know. And yeah, like I loved it. Loved it. And then like basically from that point on, like Working Designs hooked me. So there's that. So anyways, I'm going to start showing some of the games. Okay, so first up is going to be the TurboGrafx game. There were 6 TurboGrafx games. 2 of them were on Hue cards, and then the rest of them were on CDs. So the first game up is actually going to be the last game that I got. And then like when I talk about, well, what's the best way to do this? Anyways, I'll just show 4 of them. So when I was talking about, like, I put off doing this video because of the condition of the games weren't where I wanted them to be. It was basically the TurboGrafx games, and that's because, so I have all the TurboGrafx games, like, basically doubled at this point. They came in, like, jewel cases and stuff, and then, like, inside the TurboGrafx ones, you have, like, a Hue card and manual. But they also, like, came with outer boxes and stuff with, like, styrofoam. They were basically like NES games, like, cardboard box outside with like a styrofoam pad on the bottom, and then the game itself. And like those cardboard boxes are just so impossibly hard to find for some of these games, and that's basically what took me so long. So like Kadash was probably the one that was the hardest to find, and this game, I think price charting showed only like 6 options in the last 2 years that included the box, and I missed out on every single one of those. So I specifically put away money for a copy of this game over the last like year and a half or so. And whenever the next opportunity came up, I was going to jump on it. So it came up, and I did. So, like I said, first game up I'm going to show is a copy of Kadash, complete in box. And like I said, this one, I think out of the whole collection, this was the one that gave me the most grief and was just so impossibly hard for me to find. But it is done now. And like I'm not going to talk about the games themselves in this video. I'm just going to show you the games and then show you the systems and stuff they're on. And then like in the specific system videos, I'll talk about the games. So then next up is Parasol Stars. And then this one, again, like I had to try to track down the box for it, but I'm glad I was able to. Whoop. And then Cosmic Fantasy 2. The next two I'm going to show you. So when Working Designs warehouse closed in like 2005 or so, copies of Cosmic Fantasy 2 and then Exile, which is what I'm about to show you now, ended up like flooding eBay because they had so many of them left over. So like you can still find copies of these two brand new for relatively cheap, but Parasol Stars and Kadash are a lot harder to find. And then this one, like I'd gotten it loose. Like I said, it came with, well, this one didn't come with an outer box. The next 2 games I'm going to show you came with like an outer slip. And like those outer slips for these 2 games were just so freaking hard to find too. So like you can find it in just loose copy pretty easily, but I think the prices started to rise fairly recently. But I ended up tracking down a copy of that outer sleeve, like I said. You can have like the embossed in gold lettering that Working Designs has become famous for. And then the back. This one I don't have like a box protector the size of a TurboGrafx game, so I had to put some like bubble paper in there to take up like a multi-cart spot here so the game doesn't flop around. And then the last game for TurboGrafx was Bastille, and this one, like, I made sure to the first copy of this game that I bought came with this outer cover, which I'll show like all the components of it in the other video. But yeah, got it. Alright, so now we'll move on to the Sega CD. And then first up we have Lunar, the Silver Star. This is the original game that Lunar Silver Star Story Complete is based off of. Yeah, I guess the story is that right after this one was completed, Game Arts was the one who developed it. Said that they wanted to make it better, so they ended up making Lunar the Silver Star Story for the Sega Saturn, which Silver Star Story Complete was based off of. And then the second game up is the sequel to Lunar, and this is Lunar 2 Eternal Blue. And it's like, I'll talk about it in a second, but Lunar 2 Eternal Blue Complete for PlayStation 2, or PlayStation 1 is basically the same story. And then Hopful Mail. And then like on the back, that's just like loose papers and stuff in the back of the insert that I just haven't taken out. And then the last game up is Vi, or Vi, however you wish to pronounce that. Okay, so we're on Sega Saturn. There are 6 games released for it. First up is Albert Odyssey, Legend of Eldine. I do love like the box art. I think the Sega Saturn box art is probably my favorite of the box arts for all the Working Designs games. Next up is Dragon Force. Not the band, but hopefully these are coming up well on video. And then we have Iron Storm. Going in alphabetical order, not release order if you couldn't tell, but we have the very last Sega Saturn game and the rarest Sega Saturn game, Magic Knight Rayearth. And then Sega Ages, which I think at this point, this one's probably one of the harder ones to find because there's not too many auctions on eBay for it anymore. And then the last one, Shining Wisdom. Okay, now we're up to the PlayStation 1. There's 10 games for the PlayStation 1. First one up is going to be Alundra. And if you kind of like Legend of Zelda type games, this is actually a really cool game. And then we have Elemental Gearbolt. My copy of this is signed by Victor Ireland himself. And he was the CEO of Working Designs. Or president and CEO, I guess. Then we have Ray Crisis. And Raystorm. Both of these are awesome shmups. And Silhouette Mirage. I guess a lot of people like the original copy of this better because Working Designs made this one significantly harder than the original Japanese version. And Thunder Force 5. This is another good shmup. Then we have Vanguard Bandits. As you can see, like basically all the cases, well not all of them, but like a lot of the cases I have all have like the foil covers on them and stuff, so it's pretty easy to tell when you come across a Working Designs game. Then this was my replacement copy of Lunar Silver Star Story Complete. And this is my original copy of Lunar 2 Eternal Blue, but I got a little banged up in my last move, so I think I will be working to find a replacement copy. Oh, come on. And then A little snapshot of the inside. And then the last PlayStation 1 game that I have here is Ark the Lad Collection. So I saw this one in stores about the same time that I saw all of the Lunar games, but like I never bought it. And then like when Best Buy started purging all of their PlayStation 1 games, this one went on sale, and I still didn't buy it. I chose to buy all of the Final Fantasy like Anthology Chronicles, and I forgot the other one was. But I bought all the Final Fantasy games on sale, and I passed up on this one, and then I just couldn't find this one in stores. So I had to buy it a couple of years ago. Inside of that one. Alright guys, now we are rounding the end of this. So the last 3 games up are going to be PlayStation 2 games, and PlayStation 2 is the last generation of games that Working Designs made games, which was unfortunate. It's basically due to the last game that I'll show that they had to shutter their doors. But anyways, first game up is going to be Gun Griffin Blaze, and it's a pretty cool mech game. Then we have Sylphid, the Lost Planet. And then the final game here, so the first time I bought it, I didn't realize there was a big box version of it. So I bought Growlancer Generations, which is essentially 2 Growlancer games, and like I said, like they were 2 big projects for Working Designs, and Sony ended up making them, bundled the 2 together. So Working Designs ended up losing money on making this game, and I'll show you the other part of that equation, why they lost money, in a second here. If I could get this out, I'm trying to show you guys the manual for this game. It's like this manual, it's a pretty thick manual. But yeah, like I saw this game on the store shelves and stuff. I was like, holy crap, this thing is awesome. So I bought it, and then I realized the true version of this, its true form, if you will, was this bad boy, and this was the very last release for Working Designs, like I said. And this thing came bundled with a watch, a necklace. I think it had like dandies, or like a playing card, or deck of playing cards and stuff. And there was just all kinds of stuff bundled with it. And like I said, since they had to put 2 games together in the bundle, and they had all those extras and stuff in it, they ended up losing money. So they had to kind of shutter their doors. And in doing so, we ended up losing one of the greatest publishers, I think. And like I think they set the standard that we see today, especially when it comes to collector's editions and stuff, with just how much time and love and attention that they put into their games. But you just don't really see that with a lot of the games that mimic what they did anymore. But I'll show you this stuff. Okay, so like I said, Working Design shuttered their doors in 2005. And then not too long afterwards, Victor Ireland announced that he was starting a new company that was going to be the spiritual successor to Working Designs, and that was Gaijin Works. And to date, Gaijin Works hasn't really done as much as Working Designs has, but to be fair, Victor Ireland is working on building like a new fan base and trying to show developers and basically just game makers that there is a demand for the product that they've put out. So they've only had a few releases, like physical releases, and then a lot of their work has been putting their older games that I just showed you onto like PlayStation Network and stuff, so people can play them on a Vita and like PS3 and PS4 and stuff. But the few physical games that they have put out, I do have copies of. So the first game that they really announced and that went to retail that they've been working on was Miami Law, and it's a Hudson Soft game for the DS. And I'm not really too sure what the extent of their participation in this was. I'm pretty sure it was like translation, because like you don't see their name anywhere on the DS case, but I guess they have said that they did work with Hudson Soft in making that a reality here in the US. And then the second game up is a PSP game, Classic Heroes 2, and yeah, it's Victor Ireland said he's working on trying to get PSP games made because the window to publish official releases in the PSP library is starting to close on the PSP. So he's trying to slide in at the end. So almost guaranteed that if you're going to be a PSP collector, the very last PSP games are going to be Gaijin Work games. And I'll talk about there's 2 more PSP games that are coming out by Gaijin Works, and I'll talk about those after I show this last game. And the very last game, like the most recent one that released, was Class of Heroes 2G on the PS3. And obviously not the last PS3 game, but still probably going to be a niche, hard to find PS3 game if anyone ends up trying to become a PS3 collector. So, like I just said, there's 2 more Gaijin Works physical releases coming, and Victor Island is starting to ramp it up. Like the physical releases from Gaijin Works to be like working designs. So the one that's coming out soonest is going to be Summon Night 5, and he just had a pre-buy for that. It actually just closed last week, and thinking about it, I probably wish I'd done like a PSA or something for it. But they're only going to make enough of these games to fill all the pre-buys that people bought, which is probably going to be somewhere in like 3,000 to 4,000 range. And then there's another company that kind of works with Gaijin Works. They'll buy like a certain supply of games and then sell them on their site at a retail price. So it's not going to be like ridiculous overpriced eBay games. But so yeah, Summon Night 5 is going to come out. So it's got a poster bundle with it, a soundtrack, and then I think there's one more thing. But then you also have Class of Heroes 3, which is coming out, I guess next year. He's going to open up the pre-buy for that one here in like next month or so. So maybe I'll do a PSA for that one. But anyways, guys, that's going to be this intro video for Working Designs and I guess / Gaijin Works. And then the next few videos that I'm going to do are going to be on the actual games for each system themselves and like what came with all of those games. So if you're interested in becoming a Working Designs collector, you'll know kind of what to look for and when you're out there searching for those games. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you are now either a converted Working Designs fan, or if you were a Working Designs fan to begin with, you are even more of a Working Designs fan now. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching this video, and take it easy. Have a good weekend. Later.